Happy dang Sunday morning, all my fine, beautiful aviation enthusiast friends. Welcome back to the Airplane Show. Welcome back to the best airplane show you ever going to see on this Sunday morning. Hey, that's right. So, hopefully y'all are doing well. We go ahead and choose this big old jumbo. The Antonov AN-225. I've been reading up on this. I'm pretty confident that I can do okay with this plane today, even though everything's in Russian. I mean, starting up the plane, taking off, and all that, that's not a problem. The autopilot's the big the big nut to crack with this plane, being that some of the buttons have multiple features and it's all in Russian, and I don't really speak Russian. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind learning it. I think it's a cool language. I've just never needed to learn it. So, anyways, we have a special delivery we're going to make today. So I decided to build the route in this system here with Microsoft Simulator. I mean, there's no way to import the flight plan, and instead of just building it in their Garmin system, it's just as easy just to build it in here, and then I can visualize it too, because it's a little difficult to visualize the flight plan, the complete flight plan, in that little Garmin system. So we have a special delivery. We have a train that we got to deliver from San Francisco. So we are parked at a large gate, right? Here's where we're parked. At least that's where we should be parked. Yep, that is where we're parked. Okay. And we're going to take off from runway 10 left, even though that's not the runway they're using this morning. Since this is a made-up flight, we don't need to play by the rules of real life. So we're going to take this departure. We're going to travel all the way down yonder, and we're going to land on a runway that they are currently not using this morning for landings. However, again, since this is a made-up flight, we're going to do a made-up landing, mainly because I want to do an ILS landing with this plane, because I always like to try to do those first before, RNAVs and other landings. ILS landings are usually a bit easier to do than RNAV landings and things like that. So, yeah. So since this is a made-up flight with a made-up delivery, we can use made-up runways that are okay to use. So that's the route we got built. We're going to travel over Bakersfield, LA, Catalina, and then we'll make this turn to the southeast, and then we'll pick up the ILS, and then we'll put this bad boy back on the ground and unload this train, and there we go. So we are ready to go. We got real time, everything's on. So it might be just breaking sunlight here. It looks like it. I was trying to take off in the dark, but whatever. Let's go ahead. Well, actually, let's see I guess we'll do this. I was thinking about maybe using this plane over, like in Russia. Unless I do that tonight. Maybe I'll do that tonight, when it's kind of like daytime to dusk over there. Let's see what it looks like. I might cancel this stream and... Hey, the stream got canceled automatically. Yeah. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you for canceling this automatically. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, we'll just do this flight now. We'll do another flight tonight. It might not have liked that gate that we were using. It's crazy that this thing, I don't know. I don't know why it crashes sometimes, to be honest with you. It's really frustrating, though. For reals? For real? It's real frustrating. We just trying to do the right thing. And Microsoft don't want us to do it. '40th anniversary. That's crazy that they've been putting out simulators for 40 years. Like, I'm 45. And 40 years ago, like, the Atari was out, right? And, like, huge Mac computers and huge PCs. And, yo, I used to rock the shit out of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego when I was a kid. There was this karate game that I used to play too, where you or were you a ninja? I forget. But anyways, it was, you know, it was that side view of a person, and it was like just, you know, walking across a map. But you had to kick the shit out of a lot of people, man. I used to tear that keyboard up, man, when I was playing that game. I forget the name of that game. It's been so long since I played that. It's probably been about 40 years. 38, 37 years maybe. Then I got the Nintendo when it came out. All right, so we got to rebuild the route, which is no big deal. Let's make sure we got the right livery. All right, I don't want this one. We'll use this one. All right, let's go back to San Diego. Where's San Diego at? Or San Francisco, I'm sorry. All right, so we are gonna, let's what this one is. Fuel box, nah. That's medium. Medium. Schmedium. Medium. Large. All right, we'll try this one again. And let's go back to San Diego. Well, now you get to see me build the route. Isn't that exciting? All right, runway 9. We're going to do low airways. I guess we could do high airways, I guess. Not that it really makes a difference. All right, departure was 10 left, I believe. Yep, 10 left. Well, I guess we could do 10 right also. I mean, they're the same length. Let's do 10 right. That's a little closer. All right, we go out to Fresno and then go down. And then approach is ILS Z09. And we were doing, what does Shamu look like? So we got that one, and we got Barrett. Nope, it wasn't Barrett. It was this one here, Plea. All right, let's give it another shot. Let's see if we get canceled again. I found that sometimes on Microsoft, it doesn't like sometimes it just doesn't like the runway that you're using. Or sometimes it doesn't like the ramp that you're parked at. And instead of it like putting you back to the main screen, it just, you know, it just cancels you completely. All right, well, I thought we were going to be taking off during sunrise, where, you know, this would be dark, but not so much. All right, well, let's get some ground power action. So now the flight's already loaded in. Let's connect the GPU and chocks. And I've been using this the last couple of flights, you know, the automated checklist where it talks to you. I kind of like that. you know, yeah, so let's do that.
Parking brake. Set. Battery switches.
All right, battery switches.
Auto. External power generator switch.
I turned it on. How come you're not saying complete?
As required. APU 1 fuel heater switch. Off. APU 1 fire loop. On. APU 1 bleed air. On. APU 1 master switch. On. APU 1 starter switch. On. Wait for APU 1 startup.
Yep, once this gets hot enough, then I think there's some verbiage that shows up here, I believe. But yeah, this is a pretty cool plane. It's a shame that they kind of stopped, using this plane, but I guess they had their reasons. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday morning. My name is Greg. I play an internet pilot periodically through the week on the YouTubes. When I'm not playing an internet pilot, I play a life insurance salesman over the phone.
To 100%. APU 2 fuel heater switch.
And then I am a single dad
APU
with
2
full
fire
custody of 2 teenagers the rest of the time.
APU 2 bleed air. On. APU 2 master switch. On. APU 2 starter switch. On. Wait for APU 2 startup.
All right. Now we just waiting. Waiting for my APU. APU. I am very nervous about this flight today, by the way. I'm still kind of getting familiarized with I think I have a good grasp on the autopilot system, but yeah, man, it's a little scary.
APU 2 N1 to 100%. APU generator left switch. On. APU generator right switch. On. External power generator switch.
All right, we can turn off the external generator.
As required. Rectifier toggle switches. On. Transformer rectifier switches. On. Instrument/nav master switches.
Man, I watched Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I think that's what it's called, the newest one. Man, that movie is dumb as hell. I mean, they're still awesome to watch, But like, I love watching them because of the action. But they are some of the dumbest movies.
On. Capped HSI bus switch.
Actually, let me do something here. I want to try to make the text smaller. Let me see if that's done through here. Miscellaneous. Default, no. Not under graphics. No. Okay, minimum text size. Let's try 25 again. We'll do 23. Let's try 23. Ah, that's better. Captain bus switch.
Capt HSI bus switch. On. Capt radio altimeter bus switch. On. Capt AHI bus switch. On. Capt ASI switch. On. Capt VSI/TCAS bus switch. On. Capt TCAS bus switch. On. FO HSI bus switch. On. FO radio altimeter bus switch. On. FO VSI/TCAS bus switch. On. FO NAV1 radio bus switch. On. FO NAV2 radio bus switch. On. FO COM radio bus switch. On. FO air data comp switches. On. NAV light switch. On.
Alright, that's all done for that setup. Let's now set up the fuel and hydraulics. So the fuel switches we are getting ready to play around with are right here. And I believe they're already on. I'm sorry, they're right here. I believe they're already on rich. And the reason I say that is because like if you were to open this and shut that, like it doesn't flip the switch. So I'm thinking that they're already on. I think when they're moved up like that, they're already rich. So let's see what the co-pilot says.
Fuel valve switches. Rich. Hydraulic pump switches.
Yep. All right. So let's see here. All right, that one's off. That one's off. That one's off. That one's now off. And that one's now off.
Off. Fuel pump 1 to 1 button. Off. Fuel pump 1 to 2 button. On. Fuel pump 1 to 3 button. On. Fuel pump 1 to 4
It's crazy
button.
how many fuel switches there are.
Off. Fuel pump 1 to 5 button. On. Fuel pump 1 to 6 button. On. Fuel pump 1 to 7 button. Off. Fuel pump 1 to 8 button. Off. Fuel pump 1 to 9 button. Off. Fuel pump 1 to 10 button. Off. Fuel pump 1 to 11 button. On. Fuel pump 1 to 12 button. On. Fuel pump 2 to 1 button. Off. Fuel pump 2 to 2 button. On. Fuel pump 2 to 3 button. Off. Fuel pump 2 to 4 button. Off. Fuel pump 2 to 5 button. On. Fuel pump 2 to 6 button. On. Fuel pump 2 to 7 button. Off.
Man, let's autocomplete this.
Fuel pump 2
This
to
takes
8
forever.
button. Off. Fuel pump 2 to 9 button.
I mean, it's just finishing these fuel buttons and that's it. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, payload setup. So let's just autocomplete this page and then we'll go ahead over there and, all right, let's close out the checklist. Let's get our payload set up. So like I said, we're going to be delivering a train today. So let's go ahead and come here. Let's set some passenger cargo since we have some people on board helping us on this trip. All right, and let's go now to configure. Like I said, we're going to be delivering this train right here, and let's click this, and I believe I have this on fast. Yeah, fast. Realistic takes it takes so long to open up these cargo doors and shit. When you have it on realistic, man, it takes forever. So the autopilot altitude window, so if you are using this plane and you're coming over here and you're using the controller, when you have that thing set on 1, it goes up like 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. But when you have it set to 100s, now it does hundreds. It makes it a lot quicker to put in the altitude that you're trying to go to. Let's line the satellites. See, watch, we put this on 1, and now watch this. See? It takes forever. And we got converter. We'd like to get to 250 knots. Oh, we're sinking. Help, we're sinking. So it opens the front nose here. Let's switch the camera view. So it switches, so it opens this nose up, then it puts these legs down, and then it lowers down to the ground, and then once it's done lowering, it will then lower this ramp, and then the cargo gets put on. Right now we have generic boxes in there, but that's going to be replaced with a train here coming up. Let's give it some privacy so it can change. All right, let's go back to Load cargo. All right, and now our train should be in there. Yep, there's our train. All right, so that's good. We can go back into the cockpit and raise everything back up again. So to raise everything back up, we're just going to go ahead and click main door, and that will close everything up. There's no reason to click apply load because it's already been done. If you were doing a generic load like those boxes we saw in the beginning, you would click you'd click apply, but we don't need to do that. All right, and we are going to get up to 30. Actually, I don't even know how high to fly actually today. Let's set it for 20. Well, we'll wait till we're done rising. I can't do anything until this is done. I'm stuck in animation. I'm animation locked. Actually, I can't get out of this. It won't let me move. I'm completely frozen in place. Oh man, I hope I'm not like completely locked. Maybe when all this animation is done, maybe it'll allow me to move. It's gonna be a real short stream if I can't if I can't finish the flight, because there's another glitch with Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox. I cannot move at all. It will not allow me to move, even resetting the position. It will not allow me to move. This is crap. Even with the mouse connected, I can't move. Come on, Microsoft. Golly. Come on, man. I cannot move. This is complete bunk. They have some of the dumbest glitches in this game, man. Fuck. I gotta restart everything. I don't even feel like doing this anymore. It's so fucking stupid. I can't even interact with anything. Alright, let's reset and start again. Fuck my life, man. And I gotta recreate the route too. Alright, let's start again. Man, I can't believe. I think I know what happened, but it's so stupid that it happened. Because I was entering in information into the converter for to convert it from metric to from meters to feet and all that, and I think it got stuck on that tablet while it started moving back up in the air, and it wouldn't allow us to continue because of that. So stupid. All right, 10 right, ILS. All right, let's go again. They really have some stupid glitches in Microsoft, man. I'm telling you. Especially if you reset the camera. If you reset the camera, that should reset it. Hang on a second, I got a text message. Oh yeah, I know about that. All right, so let's go ahead and actually, I still can't move. What the hell is going on? Wonder why I can't move. Let me turn off the controller and turn it back on again. Maybe something happened with the controller. I don't think that's the case, but I'm willing to try everything. Let me load a different airplane real quick. Maybe loading a different airplane and then loading this one back, maybe that'll fix it. This is dumb as hell, man. I swear Microsoft has some of the stupidest shit that goes wrong with it. All right, let's just load in this real quick. Let's just choose a different airport. They have some of the... We could have been in the air already, or at least on the runway. I mean, so frustrating, man. It's frustrating when good things happen to... When bad things happen to good people. I almost said when good things happen to bad people. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. Okay? We're locked in here too. What the fuck is going on with the camera system? Yeah, I ain't completely locked. I didn't change any of the settings though. Only thing I did was change how big the text is. I still can't interact. All right, maybe let's restart the whole simulator. Man, I should just put on Life of P and call it a day. Just put on Liza P and call it a day. All right, let this load up. Give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Dumb as hell. Hopefully this fixes the camera situation. All right, let's go back and pick our airplane again. Livery. All right, KSFO. Large. All right, arrival. Runway 9. All right, VFR, high I-ways. All right, departure is so E10 right. We're doing ILS-Z, and it is Pleo 109. All right, let's click fly. Hopefully resetting this fixed this bitch, because man, I am frustrated. Everything was working fine. We loaded the train. We were closing up the cargo hold, and all of a sudden the camera just froze and I couldn't move anywhere. The only thing and the only setting I've changed since starting today was just the size of the text. So the text was a little smaller in the checklists and all that. All right, we're good, but the screens aren't on now. Maybe it's a problem with this gate. Let's try resetting or restarting. Golly, man, it's embarrassing, man. I don't know if it's so much embarrassing for me or embarrassing for Microsoft, because I'm certainly not doing anything wrong. It's crazy. Come on, screens. Light yourselves up. Come on now, finish loading. Hiya! Hiya, Microsoft! I can't believe we're not in the air yet. I've been live for 45 minutes, and I'm just now restarting the plane. If you're just now tuning in, we were good until I closed the cargo hold. We loaded the train, everything was going good. I closed the cargo hold and the camera froze. I tried loading in a different plane. That camera was frozen as well, so I had to restart the simulator. Now the camera's working. However, the flight bag, tablets were not turned on. They weren't working. And now this thing is just taking its merry old time loading. I do not get it. I mean, I appreciate, if you're sticking with me through this, but it's certainly embarrassing for Microsoft. I mean, it's not anything I'm doing wrong. And why is it not finished loading yet? What is the problem, man? I fully believe that some of the gates that are available, the simulator just does not like. I fully believe that that's part of the issue. Come on, Microsoft, let's go. Hiya! I mean, I'd hate to have to restart the game again. I don't want to give up on this flight. Like, I want to do this flight. I want to fly this fucking plane. I just got the plane like a few days ago, and I've been like, learning, you know, some Russian so I can learn how to use some of the buttons. Man, we are just stuck. All right, let's exit again. Let's reload again. I'm telling you, if it doesn't work this time, I'm probably just going to give up. I mean, this is crazy. Trying to have fun this morning, and I can't do it. I'm not allowed to have fun on Sunday mornings, I guess. Microsoft and Xbox, they just do not want me. Well, it's the same company, really. They're out for me. They are out to get me. All right, let's try this one more again. One more again. All right, let's go to KSAN again. I'm sorry, KSFO. Let's get that one more again. All right, we got that. I mean, unless it doesn't like us pre-building the route, but that shouldn't matter. I mean, that shouldn't matter at all. Whether we input the route ourselves, like we normally do, or if we're using this system, like, it really shouldn't matter. All right, departure again is this one here. We're doing the ILS-Z, and we're doing the PLIA 19. All right, let's see what happens. Maybe 8th time is a charm. We would have been good the last time if the tablets were on. But when they start blank like that, I don't know a way to turn them back on. The power button doesn't work on the tablets, and the brightness doesn't work. Last time, it got stuck right around here. All right, let's see what happens. Well, looky. The tablets are back on. All right. I think we might be good. All right, let me do this first. So I'm going to fly up to like 22,000 feet at first. That might be our cruising altitude as well. And speed conversion, I want to put in 250 for the knots. Let's do that. And the weather is 3002. And that's, I think that's inches per hectogram. Zero, two. All right, very good. All right, let's go ahead and lay some chocks down. Lay the GPU down. Let's come over here. Flip our battery switches on. Let's put our external power on. What's next in the checklist here? APUs, okay. So let's go here, make sure that's off. Put fire loop on. Turn on the left side bleed. Start master. And start. We'll let that get all fired up. Well, it looks like we're cooking with gas now, so welcome everyone to the best airplane show you're ever going to see on a Sunday morning. I cannot believe some of the bad shit that has happened this morning with this damn plane and this simulator. This shit is crazy. But we're in it now. We're starting up this plane. I'm going to break out the checklist momentarily. But I'm pretty good with a lot of the setup of this plane to begin with. I've done it a few times now. But we are going to break out the checklist momentarily. All right, once this levels off, this light will come on here. Yep, and now we can start this one. So the heater's off, fire loop on, bleed air switch on. Let's start that bitch up. Let's click the start button. Let's evaluate our situation so far.
Parking brake. Set. Battery switches. Auto. External power generator switch. As required. APU 1 fuel heater switch. Off. APU 1 fire loop. On. APU 1 bleed air. On. APU 1 master switch. On. APU 1 starter switch.
But again, if this is your first time here, I appreciate you showing up. My name is Greg. I do a lot of these videos. I do them as often as I can. You know, it's something I love doing, but you know, I don't always have the time for it. But at nighttime, I try to do it, and on the weekends. And I just love pretty much every simulator that's out there, but I'm really been enjoying the Microsoft Flight Simulator lately, more than train simulators and car simulators and all that. So I'm also playing Liza P. I've done some videos for that, and I've been playing a lot of Forza Motorsport lately. That game is a lot of fun to me as well. All right, yeah, we're good with that.
On. Wait for APU 2 startup. APU 2 N1 to 100%. APU generator left switch.
Okay, let's close this up here. So we got our generators here. Oops, okay. The generators are, where are they at? They're down here. They're already on. So now we got to click these rectifier switches. Then we got to click these transformer rectifier switches. And then now we go over here and we click all the navigation and instrument setups. All right, that's done. I believe the only thing that's left on this page, we got to flip a lot of these switches up there. Let me get to the checklist again. And evaluate.
APU generator right switch. On. External power generator switch.
Let me turn off the external power now.
As required. Rectifier toggle switches. On. Transformer rectifier switches. On. Instrument/nav master switches. On. Capped HSI bus switch.
All right, here we go. Let's click on you.
On. Capped radio altimeter bus switch. On. Capped AHI bus switch. On. Capped ASI switch. On. Capped VSI/TCAS bus switch. On. Capped TCAS bus switch. On. FO HSI bus switch. On. FO radio altimeter bus switch. On. FO VSI/TCAS bus switch. On. FO NAV1 radio bus switch. On. FO NAV2 radio bus switch. On. FO COM radio bus switch. On. FO air data comp switches. On. NAV light switch. On.
All right, the fuel valves, which are right over here, they're already defaulted to rich. So let's click on evaluation.
Fuel valve switches. Rich. Hydraulic pump switches.
Yep, these we gotta adjust manually, so that's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. And that's done.
Fuel pump 1 to 1 button.
All right, these I'm going to autocomplete because it's a pain in the ass to look at the. It's a pain in the ass just to. You have to click on like one button on each column, so let's just autocomplete the thing.
Fuel pump 1 to 4 button. Off. Fuel pump 1 to 5 button.
Yeah, it's like button number 3 you got to turn off on all of them. All right, so that's all good. Let's autocomplete this page as well. And autocomplete this page as well. All right, let's go load our cargo, which is where we ran into the issue last time. So let's go ahead to here, and we're going to click on the train because that is what we are going to load today. And we got configure. All right, let's open the doors. And we can turn on the cargo bay lights. This was the issue last time. We're just going to sit in the cockpit, even though we're going to wind up sinking. Now, let's do this real quick. Let's get this activated. So those will line up. We'll check the message after we're done loading the cargo. That's just asking us to put a certain course into the nav computer. Right now it's putting the legs down, and then it's gonna, once the leg, now I have this on fast. Otherwise, I believe it's like 10 minutes that it would take for this whole process to open everything. First time I did it, I didn't put it on fast mode. I just left it on regular, and I believe it was about 10 minutes that it took to open up, open up the nose, lower itself down, put the ramp down. Like, it was a long time. And I'm hesitant to do anything else at this point, because this is what happened last time. I got to this point, I loaded the train, and then once the train was loaded, it just got locked up, the camera. I will lower myself down, but I'm not going to interact with anything. So that last time I was on the tablet plugging in some of those conversion figures, and I just got locked up and frozen. All right, now it's going to lower the ramp. And then we can load the train. I don't know, we might be able to load it now, but I'm not taking the chance. Not really sure why this plane stopped being used. I know the answer's out there. I haven't looked it up, but somebody knows. You can certainly put it in the chat. All right, this is all done. Let's click load cargo. All right, we are loaded. Let's go check and make sure that it's in there. Yep, our train is in there. So let's go back to cockpit. All right, let's close the cabin door and the internal door, and now let's put this in here. Apply load. Pretty sure that train is still in there. Yep, okay. All right, let's close everything back up. Once we're done this, we'll tweak a couple of things with the autopilot and the Garmin system here. You know, like we'll set up our VNav and all that, and then we'll get the engine started up. Actually, let me get Navigraph open so I can see what we need to descend down to and when. Let's see here. All right. So our glide scope capture point is 2,000 feet. Okay, and LAX we need to be between 24,000 and 26,000 feet. Let's see if that's in the nav system when we get a chance to look at it. According to the standard terminal arrival chart for PLYYA1, we need to be between 24 and 26,000 feet for Los Angeles. All right, I think we're okay now that we're not moving. So let's see what course it wants us to do. All right, so 104, let's go over here, plug in our course for 104. All right, that's good now, that message is gone. Let's look at our flight plan. That's right, I don't believe it puts any kind of... Okay, so we need to be at, let me go ahead and click on this and scroll down, arrival, Leah, minutes, SARGs. Okay, so we need to be at 2,100 feet at SARGs. So let's go ahead to VNAV and push this in. And our altitude is needing to be, let's go here, 400, hit enter. And we are going to do 1 mile before SARGs. Enter, enter again. And let's just say like 1,700 feet. All right, VNAV is now set up. And we're going to set a cruising altitude of, well, actually, let me check our departure and see if we have any constraints with our departure. Let's see here. City, Hoppy, Intel. No, there's no constraints at all. So let's come over here to configure. Let's put in 24,000 feet. So 7315, that's what we're going to do. So let's put this in 100s. And the reason I'm doing that is so this, with the controller now, will spin up by the hundreds. So we got 7315. All right, 7315 and 463. Okay, 7315. And what did I say? 463. Well, let's set it for 200 at first. So 200 would be 371. All right, so we got all that set now. We don't need to worry about any of that. We can turn on this for navigation. All right, that's all good. We can push this one in for nav. And we'll put this one in for nav. These buttons here just work the indicators in here. All right, and let's go ahead and I think starting the engines is next. Yeah, so I kind of like doing the manual start, to be honest with you. So let's actually back up first, and then we'll get the engines started. So let's get the ATC involved. There's our runway right there, so we don't really have far to go. All right, let's get ATC. All right, ground. All right, yeah, I guess we need to request clearance. Ground services. Pushback. And I think it's steer to the left, I believe is what it is. All right, parking brake is off. Come on, let's go. Yep, okay, I got it right. I still get confused almost every flight with backing up to the right or left. The only one I can do confidently is where it says which way do you want the nose to point. That one I understand completely, but otherwise when it says right or left, I'm like, huh? Like, does it mean like right or left from the back of the plane or right or left from the front of the plane? All right, we can actually stop. Let's put our parking brake back on. Turn that off. Turn this off. All right, so parking brake re-engaged. Yep, I believe so. Yep. All right, parking brake is re-engaged, so let's do... So you have two different choices with the engine starts. You can do auto or you can do manual. Auto is just a matter of pushing a couple of buttons. I like doing the manual engine start where you start... Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll do auto. That way they all start up at the same time. I don't know. All right, let's go to beacon light. Let's turn the beacon light on. All right, let's just do auto. We've wasted, well, we didn't waste time today. Microsoft wasted our time, but we've had enough of our time wasted today. Let's just light them all up at the same time. All right, so open this door up. And then we got to make sure all these are on rich, which they all are. We need to turn on these. And everything looks good. So let's go ahead and turn these off. Turn the FADEX switches on, which are right here. All right. Hit the auto start button, which is right here. And we got to hold this launch button in until we get a couple of green indicators there. All right, and now we should be good. So let's start here and let him auto-evaluate our performance so far.
Switch. On. Engine starter cover. Open. Engine start mode switches. Rich. Mixture ratio switches. On. Hydraulic transfer switches. On. Engine status. Check. Hydraulic transfer switches. Off. FADEC switches. On. Auto start button. Press. Start button. Press. Wait for English 1 to 6 startup.
All right, so engines are starting to fire up. So manual is essentially the same thing as the auto start. The only difference is you would come down, if you're doing manual, you would choose like engine 1 and engine 6, and then push the launch button and hold it, and then once those are started up, then you go engine number 2 and then engine number 5, and then launch and wait for those green indicators to show up again. The only difference is now we just, starting them all up at the same time. All right, our takeoff is, what is our heading for the takeoff here? Let's see. Runway 10 right. It might be that 104 that we plugged in. Yep, 104. Setting the heading is a little bit of a pain in this airplane, because you have to come all the way back here, and you have to adjust the heading from here. So hopefully your eyesight is good, because and then during our ascent and descent today, once we get the nose pitched at a angle that we like, we're going to come over and push this pitch hold button, and then we're going to tweak our pitch with this dial here. Back or forward, and then once we get the right pitch, that'll be fine. Then when we need to get up to 250 knots or up to 300 knots, we'll pitch down, get to the right speed, and then we'll click this velocity button here, and that'll act as kind of like a flight level change, and that'll get us to the speed that we want. That'll keep us at the speed that we chose while climbing to the altitude that we asked for. All right, so engines 3 and 4 are left. We're just about done setting up the airplane. We need to finish the engines. We need to put the hydraulics back on. We need to turn off the APUs. And then we'll pretty much be good to take off. So we'll try to turn and burn as much as we can. We pretty much got everything set at this point. We got our altitude set. We got our takeoff speed set for the auto throttle. I cannot believe some of the issues I've had today. I mean, I don't know if PC has these issues or not. Like, when I watch other people streaming Microsoft, like, they never have any issues. Me, I get all kinds of issues that I don't believe are my fault. like I can't help it if the camera got frozen. I can't help it if the sim just crashes because it it just doesn't like something in either the flight plan or where we're parked at. I can't help that.
English 1 to 6 N2 55%. Hydraulic switches.
All right, so let's turn these back on. All right, hydraulic pumps are back on.
Engine starter cover. Close. Engine generator switches.
All right, 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
On.
Very good. All right, let's go to after engine start. All right, so now we got to go ahead and turn off the APU. We might as well just do the auto eval again.
APU left stop button.
All right, stop.
Press. APU right stop button. Press. APU left fire loop switch. Off. APU right fire loop switch. Off. APU 1 bleed air. Off. APU 2 bleed air. Off. APU left master switch.
If you click on the guard, it shuts off the start.
APU right master switch. Off. Flaps lever. 2 degrees. Ground spoilers. Arm. Reverse thrust lock handle. Up. Flight controls. Free and clear. Aileron and rudder trim.
Oops, I didn't mean to autocomplete that. Shit. All right, let's line up. All right, let's get to the runway. I cannot believe we're finally at this stage. I've been going for an hour and a half. I started an hour and a half ago, and I am just now getting to this page. How crazy is that? Sorry if anybody's tuned in and left because of some of the issues I've had, but I would love to apologize and say that it was my fault and I won't do it again, but none of it was my fault that I'm aware of. I did nothing different than I do any other time I'm playing this simulator. Only thing I did was interact with that tablet while the plane was leveling itself back. After putting the train in the cargo hold. I'm gonna adjust some interior lights when we line up. I'm not worried about following protocol or rules with stopping at a hold point or anything like that. I'm just gonna line up and we're just gonna finish this and go. Oh, by the way, if you hear some screaming periodically, that's my son. He's I don't know what he's playing online right now. He's periodically he screams uncontrollably at the people he's playing with. So if you hear some screaming, it's not somebody being tortured in my house. It's my almost adult teenage son. Adult, I mean like his physical form, not so much his mental capacity. He's smart. He's just a teenager at this point. Other thing I've noticed after this last Microsoft update, so this simulator just went through an update where they supposedly fixed some issues and things like that. One thing I've noticed is there's a lot of frame rate issues with taxiing and being on ground. Like it stops, like it stutters, it pauses. All right, that's good. Let's reduce our throttle again. All right, let's put on some interior lights. I doubt we'll need them, but you never know. All right, dashboard, BSI, equipment, center panel, backup lights. All right, equipment, panels, backup lights, and console. All right, let's put ourselves in high idle as well. That'll help with the takeoff. All right, so let's put our strobe lights on. All right, so we can tick this.
Line up runway centerline. As required. Strobe lights. On. Parking brake. Set. Engines idle.
Are they not at idle? Okay. So let's tick the item. I thought I was going to tick it automatically.
Check. Throttle levers.
All right, let's get our clock. Where's our clock at? Right down there. All right, so let's get these up to about 70. All right, so let's wait for this to go around twice to about the 2 there. I mean, I guess we can pretend that the 2 minutes has happened. The reason they do this is to make sure all the engines are at the same temperature. All right, let's tick that item.
70% N1. Throttle levers. Check. Captain DME display bus switch.
On.
Captain window heat switch.
Let's turn our fan on also.
On. First officer DME display bus switch. On. First officer window heat switch. On. Fuselage and wing lights. On.
All right, after takeoff. Okay, let's see here. Well, we might as well put on our landing lights, right? All right, flaps 35 degrees. And at 10 meters roughly, landing gear up, then neutral, and then the latch is closed. thrust reverser, lock is down, and then fuselage and taxi lights. All right, I think I can remember all that. All right, let's get ready to get out of here. Let's click on that button. Let's do automatic throttle. All right, let's roll, baby. Let's release the parking brake. Let's move our engines all the way up. Once we get to that blue line right there, we can start taking off. That's our V speed right there. Very good. We can put our parking brake up. All right, let's wait for the parking brake lights to go off. All right, let's raise our flaps a little bit. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we gotta lower this now and then put that there. Put that back down and turn off the fuselage lights and the landing lights. And we are all set there. Let's raise our flaps up again. Let's raise our pitch up just a little bit. Oh shit, I'm going the wrong way with the flaps. All right, pitch, why aren't you going up? There we go. Let's lower our pitch a little bit so we can increase our speed. There we go. Now let's put this at 280 knots. That's 518. Let's do 300. It's 555. Oh, I never did put the METAR information in, did I? 3002. That's 762. All right. All right, let's increase this now to 550. 555. As you can see, it adjusts the angle automatically, and then once we get up to our speed, it should do the velocity automatically. Put that on. All right, let's lower this down to 280. That's 518.
I really want to get that piercing. Do you think we can call one of the people? Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm not doing it now.
I know. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Christmas and Hanukkah are coming up. We can maybe do it then for you.
Okay.
Yep. Daughter wants to get one of those septum piercings where it looks like she has a bull ring through her nose. 760. You know, she never really wants to draw attention to herself, but she wants to get a piercing where, you know, that'll definitely draw attention to her. Like, it makes no sense to me, but, you know, who am I to argue? I'm just an old man, I guess, right? So these other buttons up here, we'll use this max button once we get to our cruising altitude. This one you can use to level off, you know, at your altitude. This is a reset button for the autopilot. These switches here we'll never really use. You know, make a 90-degree turn to the left or to the right. You know, HSI sync. These have no function, and this is max pitch and max bank. This gives you, you know, ground speed, the speed we have programmed, indicated airspeed. I'm not really sure what those are. And then this is our altitude selector. We can choose it based on what we are, you know, radio altitude, autopilot, indicated air, and then I don't know what that last one is. And then this one here is for, you know, the VOR, you know, frequencies and autopilot info. All right, we are about at our cruising altitude. Now, this is the farthest I've ever gone with one of these flights so far. I've never really gone past the climbing phase. I've never tried an ILS landing. I've never tried descending. So there's going to be a few firsts with this one here. All right, we are here. Let's click the max button and the high button. And now we should be set for the remainder of our, you know, cruising. We have we have set 44 minutes until we start descending. So we have plenty of time. So while we're here, let's go ahead and at least plug in our frequency and our course. So we have 11155. So 55 and 111. Oh, it's the other side. All right. And our course is 95. There we go. And I believe believe that's it. Decision height is 200 feet. I know there's a decision height. So you can see we have on course, stabilization, and altitude. That was partly for clicking this high button that stabilizes. All right, here's the decision heading. Here's the decision height. Yeah, but I don't want to mess with this because, you know, it has the radio altitude set there already, but that is what you would use for your decision height. I guess you just need to monitor where you're at because the radio altitude is 217. So I guess we need to pay attention to, you know, when it gets close to this 20 number there. And that's about it. Let's just enjoy the flight now. The boringness of cruising. I wish Microsoft had a decent way to fast forward, but last couple of times I've tried using the sim increase, you know, the sim rate increase, it crashed the simulator, so I'm not really going to do that anymore. Let's see. I've never looked at these descent checklists before, so let's see here. Cruise. Yep. Set power during cruise. HSI source, right. Before descent. MDA, okay, that's fine. Flap speed went 5 miles from ILS. Lower the landing gear, right? Spoilers. I thought one of these pages had the flaps speed. Could have sworn I've seen that. Oh, here it is. Flaps when accelerating. Okay. So there's not much you need to do to descend. You just need to watch your speed and just stay on course. So let's match our heading up with now that heading bug. If you wanted to fly in heading mode right now, you would have to switch this to course 1, dial in the heading that you want, you know, put it on course 1, and then push the AP course button again. And then that'll have you follow the heading mode. When we capture, you know, when we start getting the frequency of the localizer, we'll put this in approach mode. Click on this again. That'll, you know, activate everything to localize, you know, to capture the localizer. And then we would click on this to put ourselves in glide scope mode. So at least that's how I'm understanding it. I don't think I'm wrong, but I certainly could be. Like I said, I've watched a couple of videos from Init Builds on this, and I've done a fair amount of reading, you know, on this, so I'm pretty confident with what I'm talking about, but I've never tried to execute it, so I don't know if that's exactly how it works. So we will find out soon. So I'm reading it's a Category 1 approach only, which is fine. And what it says here is, so the rotary, so from what I'm reading, here's how we do the ILS landing, right? So we're descending, we're whatever 20 miles out. We see that we're close enough to capture a localizer. What you then do is put the heading icon to turn the heading to where you want it. Turn this to course 1. Push the AP course button again. That'll put you in heading mode. Once you are on the correct heading that you want and you're not turning, you're actually flying the heading, switch this knob to approach mode. That'll put us at wings level. Then you would push this PC button again. That'll arm the system to capture the localizer. Once the localizer is then captured, we then push this button here to arm the glide scope. So, sounds good in theory. Execution could be something completely different, but the instructions on this seem pretty straightforward, so we will see. Alright, this is the last turn, I believe, for our departure. I remember Yosemite being the last. Yep. And we're going to start our arrival now. Still got plenty of time. Now, in real life, these runways we're using today are not available for arrivals and departures. In real life today. But this is not real life, so we're okay to do it. When you're in Navigraph building routes and things like that, Navigraph will actually show you, it'll tell you if the runway you're using is available for arrivals and departures. It'll say ARR or DEP, in the info to let you know if it's available. So now, when I first started trying to fly this plane, I was trying to use this vertical speed control here to ascend and descend and all that, and it's really cumbersome. Like, this is not, like, that 5 doesn't mean 500 vertical feet per minute. That's, I think, meters. Or I forget exactly. It's not what you would think it would be. So when I was watching Inabuilds, do an explanation of things, that's when he said that the pilots in real life, we can put this back down to regular thrust now. He said that the pilots in real life use this pitch knob here, in conjunction with how we did it. You get the angle you want here. You then click the vertical control here, and then you use this dial to tweak exactly, the angle you want. And if you need to speed up, then, you angle down a little bit. Then once you get to the speed you want, like we did, you would then go into this velocity mode, push that, and that'll do its best to keep you at that particular speed while you're ascending or descending. This is a cool ass plane though, man. I'm telling you. May have to go into this later and edit this video, so cut out the first 44 minutes of this video. I had all kinds of issues and shit. What up, train? Got all kinds of room back here for cargo, man. How come we don't have cargo back there? No peoples up here. Kiev. Excuse me. Bet you didn't know you could do a loop-the-loop with this plane. Look at that. Look at us. Look at us going inverted in the Antonov. Thought that was a window for a second. It's just a black dot. Oh, that's cool. So we don't need to, so when you, I never knew that. So when you go into, and you put VSR here, this shows you the same info that's in VNAV. So I guess when this gets to minus 1700, we'll activate VNAV. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see if that actually works that way. I really wanted to do a flight where you take off, where we take off kind of, you know, in the morning, you know, during sunrise. And then I was looking at maybe doing a flight from Russia, since it's, you know, planes from Ukraine and Russia and all that over there. So I know Ukraine and Russia are different, but this plane was used a lot in Russia as well. I know it's a Ukrainian plane, but I was looking at doing something over there, but it was like pitch black over there, and it was hours away from being light. So I was like, oh, let's just do a quick trip down the coast of California. Please turn to course, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We can always switch it back. But at least now that'll get rid of that message. Yep. It's crazy that planes used to exist years ago where you'd have to have all these chairs filled to fly this plane. You need 6 people. You know, one guy taking care of, you know, the comms, one guy taking care of the navigation. Gets this a scope to look at for bombing runs. Maybe camera, maybe it's a surveillance camera. Yep, all navigation, ADF. Then you have another person over here taking care of all the electrical, you know, generators and transfer switches and buses and all kinds of stuff like that. And then guy over here taking care of fuel and hydraulics and the pilot and co-pilot. I mean, that is, I mean, I know a lot of domestic flights in America were like that for a long time too, and a lot of planes. Now, I'm thinking in order to descend, here's what we're going to have to do. I believe we're going to have to go, we're going to turn the auto throttle off, reduce our thrusters, push this vertical hold button, and then use this wheel here to start our descent. And then if we want to do flight level, we can do that. We just need to program in the speed we want to go to. And then we would push this velocity button again, and then that'll keep us at that speed the whole way down. But I think that's how we're initially going to descend. Auto throttle off, you know, disengage, you know, the max and the high. I'm guessing, you know, we could probably just use the reset button and then activate this again and this again real quick. That way these get taken off for sure. But what I'll do is, like I said before, I'm just going to turn the auto throttle off, reduce the auto throttle, click these buttons to take them off, and use this vertical hold, and use the wheel back here to angle our descent. Now I'm leery about this vertical. We'll try using this vertical hold button. I don't know if I don't know if getting to, like, say 1,700 feet or 2,000 vertical feet per minute, once we get there, I don't know if pushing this will keep us at that. Like, I don't know if this wheel will adjust automatically, and I really don't like using this wheel. This wheel, it's very violent the way that the airplane shifts when you use that wheel for some reason. So all right, and what are we? I think I said we're going to go down to 3,000 feet. 2,400 feet. Okay, so let's plug in 2,400 here. That's 731. So when we get close to our descent, I'll plug in that 731. We'll plug in 731, and then we'll go ahead and plug in, you know, like 240 here as well. We'll do 240. All right. Just looking at the charts, that was really the only altitude that you really need to be at by a certain point. Let me look at the charts again. So I'm in Navigraph right now looking at these charts. Alright, so according to the arrival chart, and we need to be at 11,000 at Plea. Hang on a second. Let's pause the sim real quick. All right, enter. Release the pause. Alright, so now we got to descend in about 10 minutes. And then after that, we can plug in. Once we get close to Pleo, we'll pause it again, and then plug in the 2100 for SARS. All right, let's come over here and put in 11,000 feet. I'm really glad they put this converter in here, because this would be a pain to look up all the time. I mean, I have an app that'll do it, but still, it's still a pain to, you know, plug all. But it's different. It's different units of measurement. You have pressure here, speed, and then altitude. So all right, let's check out our arrival weather again. So that's 30:04. So let's plug that in here. All right, 30.04. So that's 763. Yep. We got about 8 minutes. Let's plug in the correct altitude, so 33.53. All right, let's put 53 in here. I don't know if that'll change anything now, though. No, let's try it anyways. So 33.53. Let's put this on hundreds. That way we can spin this down quickly. And what did it say? 33.53. All right, it's not changing anything yet. There we go. I wonder if this is normal in real life to have this much of a discrepancy between the engines. You know, like I know like in the Bay 146 and some other planes, they have, you know, where you can sync, you know, the engines off of another engine. But, you know, I'm not aware of a feature like that in this plane. They might have had it. Maybe it's not modeled in this particular plane, but all right, so that, oh, VSR is right there too. So it's the same, excellent. I just noticed that it was the same acronym there, VSR, so I think acronym is the right term for that. Excellent, so when we get close to 1700 on the VSR there, we'll begin our descent. Never tried using this before. No METAR available. Okay, no problem. Thanks for playing. That makes me a little leery about actually like changing the barometric pressure when flying, you know, these planes, because let's turn that off. Let's do METAR. Because if it's not able to pull up this, I wonder if you need a subscription to something to do this. Because it looks like it has some cool features in here. You know, mean ground level, altitude calculation, precipitation. I'll have to look into this and see why it's not working. KSMO. K Burbank. It's KSMO. I should know that. KSMO. Santa Monica, maybe? There's Van Nuys, there's Burbank, there's KLAX, there's KSMO. Pretty sure that's Santa Monica. Yep, Santa Monica. I'm getting anxious. I want to start our descent already. There's LAX. Somewhere down there, somebody rolling in their 6.4 right now. Rolling in my 6.4. Bow, bow, bow. All my homies saying, get inside, gonna get inside, gonna let me ride. Hell yeah. Get inside, gonna let me ride. Alright, begin to descend. Alright, very good. So, what the hell did I say we were gonna do? Alright, this mode. Let's turn the auto throttle off. Let's reduce. All right, very good. Now let's see if this does something. Sure enough, look at that. All right, let's put our speed down to 445. All right, now let's do the 2400 that we were going to do earlier. Sorry, 2100 actually. I gotta pause this. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Ugh. All right, we're good again. All right, our speed is decreasing. That's a good thing. Let's program in our course again. I think it was 95. Let's see here. Yep, 95. All right. You know, I think I'm going to buy a new plane today and fly it tonight. There's this Kodiak that looks really cool. Maybe we'll get that and try that plane. That plane looks like it'd be really fun to fly. Okay, let's set our pressure 763. approach. Yeah, it's interesting with this, the gear. I didn't notice until I watched the video on it last night. So these lock switches here, so you know like when we took off, right? We unlatched this, we put the gear up all the way. Once all the indicators went out for the gear, that the gear was up all the way, then you put the gear in this middle position and then close this lock. When we land, we're going to do this, the reverse. We're going to open this up, put the gear down. Once the gear are fully down and the lights are on, then we go ahead and click this lock, you know, put the gear back in the middle position and then close the gear latch. It's pretty wild. All right, let's click velocity. That way we'll level off at 11,000 feet. Let's plug in 444. I'll do 445, I guess. There we go. Nice and easy. I am really nervous. Like, I have never been this far with this plane before, and being that this is my first time, you know, doing all this, you know, I'm thinking maybe I should have practiced a couple of times before I got on, you know, not on camera, but before I put it up on YouTube, but whatever, man, we're human. If I make mistakes, I make mistakes. I've never claimed to be the best at this. I've never claimed any of that, but hey, man, you know, maybe if I screw up, somebody will learn something from me. Hello. Why aren't we increasing our speed? All right, there we go. So we got to click the high button when we get to our altitude, and then the auto throttle button. All right, very good. All right, in about 6 minutes, we'll begin our descent to 2,100 feet. Let's plug in 2,100. That's 640. Now we'll do 641. All right, we're doing pretty good. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do 1,700 feet down to that. I want to do, we might start descending now. I think it'd be safer to do like 1,200 maybe, or 1,500. You know, because we need to keep our speed down a bit. Let's see what 1,200 is. All right. Yeah, that works better for me. That way we can keep our speed good. All right, so we're gonna get ready to begin our descent again. All right, let's actually begin our descent now. So vertical pitch. Let's start going down. And that looks pretty good, I think. Yep. All right, so we got that. Now let's click this again. Very good. All right, so we're now showing 24, 25 miles out. Let's go ahead and plug in All right, let's do this here. Let's go ahead and fix our heading. Let's leave heading there. Let's switch over to course. Click that. Let's click VOR1. Let's actually move our heading in just a little bit. Yeah, like that. That makes me a little more comfortable. You know what? Let me do a little bit more. I don't know how many degrees. I know usually 45 degrees is kind of like the max for a turn. But I don't know with this particular plane exactly how it is. So let's go a little bit more. All right, so we're a little less than 30 degrees now. So once we level out, all right, now we're level. So now we're going to switch this to approach mode and click PC now. It looks like we may have captured our localizer already. Pause this real quick. So that's like 360. Okay, what is like, I don't know what our landing speed's supposed to be. Let's type in like let's do like 145, I guess. All right, so that's 268. You know what? I don't think we're going to make this landing the first time around. All right, let's do this here. Let's switch out of this mode here. Let's go to course. Let's put this up. We're going to have to do a go around. And let's go out. Let's go back out. And I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I am not sure what happened at all, because we were just descending. We didn't even get to the initial air fix. It was like, that's weird. Maybe something's wrong with the navigation, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. What I noticed was, hang on, let's go back out to see. What I noticed was this DME was showing that, you know, we were like 8 miles away from the airport. I'm like, that can't be right. I mean, at least I think that's miles, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's meters or miles. Either way, it was still showing really. All right. But we're okay. We are okay. There's no worries. All right, what's like 200 again? What is that? $370. Oh, the autopilot kicked off. That's weird. All right. No worries. We're good now. We need to get back down to 640. Not sure why it went into a climb, but told you I was nervous. We're going to get this landing, by the way. We are going to get it this time around. All right, 640. All right, let's do vertical mode. And let's start descending down to 640. See, now it's showing 17 DME, so just wait for our wings to level out. All right, very good. Now let's go to approach mode and click PC. 333. What did I say before? We're going to do like 140, 145, I guess. Probably should have looked up the landing speed before I started flying, but it's okay. All right, let's click vertical for a glide scope. All right, and we should be okay now. I hope. Let's put a little bit of speed brake up. Add some more flaps. All right, we can that back. I still think we're too high. We may have to go back around again. Yep, I think we're too high still. That's why we're not capturing the glide scope. So let's go ahead and switch back to course mode. And let's go around again. I don't know if it's the navigation that's off, or I'm just not understanding the distance measuring equipment in this particular plane. Maybe it's not in miles. You know, but either way, I mean, initially I was following the chart. We were doing okay, and then, you know, all of a sudden we were, you know, like a few miles out. I don't, oh, whatever. We'll be okay. We're learning some shit. We're learning how to use the autopilot. So far, we're doing okay with the autopilot. Let's see if this levels off when it's supposed to. Yep, I think it is. All right. Nope, it didn't. But it did now, so. All right, let's add some more flaps again. Let's start making our turn back towards the localizer now that we are at a good altitude. Let's go ahead and put on our landing lights and our fuselage lights. Let's put this up. And then once we level out like that, let's switch this over to approach, click localizer. All right, we have captured the localizer. We have armed to glide scope mode. And let's put ourselves down to, what was it, 145 again? So 269. Oh, there's the glide scope flag right there. Okay. Very good. Let's put our landing gear down. All right, and then I think we need to move that back up and lock that, I think. Yep.
Высота 300. 50. Сто. 60.
We did it. We did it. We are here. I can't believe we landed the plane safely. My first flight ever. That was awesome. That was awesome. We had some hiccups, we had some screw ups, but we did it. We did it. We did it. Took me 3 hours today. Jesus Christ. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. Because it started off really terrible with glitches that we had no control over. I didn't see, by the way, let me pause this real quick because it, whoa, whoa! You see that plane just took off right through us. This flag never moved, by the way, and I believe this is the flag for the glide scope. I'll have to look into it, but this thing never moved. We started descending anyways, and this flag was still there. But anyways, we're on the ground. We're good. I'm going to do another flight tonight. I think I'm going to buy that Kodiak single engine prop plane. I think I'm going to get that plane and do like a water takeoff and landing and shit. I don't know. I think I might just cruise around tonight, somewhere tropical and look at some shit, land in the water and take off and do all that. But anyways, that's it. Thanks for hanging with me today. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I will see you on tonight's Sunday night flight show, and we will get into it, and we'll have some fun together. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. Be good to me by clicking subscribe, like, send me a comment. I certainly appreciate it. It doesn't cost you a thing other than a couple of seconds of your time, and I certainly appreciate that. Until we see each other again, my friends, over the beautiful skies of Mother Earth, this is your internet pilot, Greg, signing off. See ya.